6 years ago. Yes, it happened exactly 6 years ago. Chike said this in his heart, while sitting on one of his office chair. He was smiling and reminiscing about the past. Who would have thought that he will turn out to be somebody great in life? An orphan whose pregnancy was initially rejected by his father, but after much persuasion and lots of family meetings, his father, popularly called Fine Jumbo, decided to take up his responsibility and accepted the mum's pregnancy. Subsequently, she became his second wife. My phone's alarm rang and cut into my thoughts. The calendar on my phone showed today's date, 11th of May. The time is 3:45 p.m. I had pre-scheduled the message. There is still hope pop up exactly at that time. This message always brings joy to my heart annually because it takes me down the memory lane. I usually end my line of thoughts by placing an annual traditional call across to my beautiful wife, in order to thank her for being a wonderful helpmeet. After her, I always call my best friend Jideofor. We call him Nigerian Whiteman because he's quite fair. Jimmy, our mutual friend, call him African Albino. Jideofor played a major role in helping me to get my life back in order the day everything went south. The incident that birthed this happened in year 2014, in the bustling town of Banito. Mr. Olu Jideofor, a respected elder, who ended up becoming my best friend, received a late-night call from Amaka, my wife. This was unusual, as the wives of his friends seldom called him. "Hello, our wife," Mr. Olu Jideofor answered. "Daddy Amara, please, is your friend with you?" Amaka's voice was loud and laced with panic. "No, he is not. Hasn't he come home? I haven't seen my husband and it's already late," Amaka replied. Her worry colored her statement. "Have you tried reaching him?" Jideofor asked, growing concerned too. "Yes, his phones are switched off." Amara glanced at the clock. It was 10:47 p.m. Chike, who usually returned home by 5 p.m., was never one to stay out late without reason. "Hello dear, just relax," Jideofor said. "He should be okay wherever he is, and I know he will soon be home. I am coming over." "Okay. Please, we are expecting you," Amaka responded, her voice trembling. Jideofor quickly dressed in a bid to go to Chike's house. His wife resisted vehemently, claiming it's late and that he should leave them to sort themselves out. It resulted into a serious exchange of words. However, Jideofor prevailed and drove to Chike's home. Amaka was already standing outside, heavily pregnant and holding their 3-year-old daughter, Rose, who was crying and asking about her father. Amaka took Rose in his arms and ushered her, along with Jideofor, inside after his arrival. "His number isn't going through," Amaka cried with tears coming out of her eyes. "It's okay, okay?" Jideofor tried to reassure her, though he was also very worried. He called several mutual friends, but none had seen Chike. Thoughts of potential accidents and extramarital affairs raced through Jideofor's mind, but he quickly dismissed them. As the night grew later, Jideofor reflected on how no one could love and care for a man like his family. Amaka was visibly distressed, and her worry was mounting higher and higher. Then a call suddenly came in. "Hello, Olu," the voice on the other end said. "Oh, Chike," Olu exclaimed. Amaka, overhearing, became agitated. "Chike, did you just say Chike?" Olu Jideofor nodded in affirmation. She immediately stood in front of him, desperate for information. Rose immediately started crying. "Where did he say he is? How is he? What happened to him? Hope he's okay. Please talk to me. Let me talk with him." "Jideofor, where are you?" Chike asked. "With your family." "Where are you, Chike? We are all worried about you. Please come over and pick me," Chike said, and gave Jideofor his location. Amaka wanted to accompany Jideofor, but he advised her to stay and take care of Rose. This is because he does not know what is really going on yet. "Dear, you don't need to go. Just wait and take care of Rose. We will be back soon." Jide found Chike sitting all alone, in tears on a seat beside the university waterfront. Jideofor looked at him angrily but calmed down immediately when he saw him in tears. Before he could say a word, Chike handed him a letter. "What's the letter about?" Jideofor asked. "I've been sacked. I can't go home to my pregnant wife," Chike sobbed. He was drunk, despondent, and wistful. "Jide, I took an office loans running into millions of naira," he said. "Where am I going to get the money to pay it back?" Jideofor's heart ached for his friend when he heard about the office loan that Chike collected. Chike explained his dire situation. A pregnant wife, a running loan repayment, a child's school fees, a sick mother, and many other pending bills. "How will I survive without a job?" he said. He went ahead to recount his years of struggle before getting the job, coupled with lots of fasting and prayers, with tears before landing the job he had just lost. "Jide, I was thinking of jumping into this cocoon if not for the fact that I know my wife and Rose will never recover from it," Chike said. "In times like this, you count on your friends," Chike said. "You're right, Chike. You're right," Jideofor replied. "But what did you do?" Jide further asked Chike. "It's just a false and baseless accusation," Chike replied. "I called Lonra 4 hours ago. He told me he is coming immediately, but he isn't here yet. Then I decided to ring you, and when you told me you were with my family, I knew I had a friend to open up to. A friend in need is a friend indeed." Jideofor laughed because the same Lonra was at his place till 8:30 p.m. and he never mentioned anything about Chike. He then patted Chike on his back and said, "I'm always here, bro. Always. Let's go home. Your family is waiting for you." He drove him home and had to stay back to console him and his wife because they both spent some time crying. 2 days later, Amaka gave birth to a bouncing baby boy. In addition, there was no postnatal complication at all. This brought great joy to the family. Jideofor visited them at the hospital, ensuring all the bills were paid for. He also transferred some money to Chike before leaving in case they need to make any purchase. That same day, Chike received a call from his workplace, asking him to return to his job. He has been cleared of wrong accusation and the culprit, who happened to be his immediate boss, has been sacked. Apart from recalling him, he was immediately promoted to take over the position formerly occupied by his then boss. Chike, overjoyed, called Jide on phone and told him what happened. He then said to him, "I will name my son after you. Honestly, you are a friend indeed." Jideofor smiled, because he was deeply moved by his friend's gesture. As they were talking on phone, he observed that his phone keep indicating that there is an incoming call. The name showing is Ratio 4 Integrated Services. He abruptly ended his call with Chike, and what he was told made him shout for joy. He was called to come and collect his checks concerning an amount that they have been owing him for over 4 years. When Chike heard, he seemingly said, "What goes around surely comes around." Morals of the story: keep good friends who will support you when the chips are down. Be a good friend and make yourself an asset and a backbone to someone. Take care of your friends before they succumb to their frustrations. You will reap what you sow in many folds.